One of the first and best mods that I did to my truck was to upgrade the signal lighting from incandescent to LED lights. I did a long form video a while back on why this LED type of lighting is superior and why it's so much more noticeable. And in today's distracted world, it's life or death. But if you've tried to upgrade to LED lighting in the past, you might have found that it's not quite as easy as just ordering a new bulb off of Amazon or Pep Boys. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can upgrade your signal lights. Either you can take the less expensive and slightly more complicated method of accomplishing this, or you can choose the easier but slightly more expensive way of doing it. Let's go. I'll bet you already know the visual benefits of using LED signal lights. They're brighter and significantly more noticeable due to their faster turn-on time. The elephant in the room when it comes to upgrading your lights to LED is called hyperflashing. All vehicles these days will make your dash indicator flash faster if it thinks that one of the turn signal bulbs is open or not drawing enough current. This is a way to notify the driver to find the defective light bulb and replace it. Well, the problem with LED lights is that they don't draw enough current to make the vehicle logic think that there is a light bulb there. So they hyperflash the indicators on your dashboard. How do we fix this problem so we can use LED signal bulbs? There's two solutions to this problem of upgrading to LED signal lighting. Number one, there is a simple and slightly more expensive solution which would take you about half an hour to upgrade. Or number two, a more complex solution that can use less expensive bulbs but requires you to invest some time to learn and have the right software and programming tools. Let's do the more complex solution first. We're going to program my truck to ignore turn signal bulb outage detection. And by doing this, we can use any LED light that works with the bulb socket. For example, number one, I'm going to use this LED bulb that I bought off of Amazon for my taillights. There's nothing special about this bulb, which means that it draws less current than an equivalent incandescent bulb, so it would cause my truck to hyperflash if I didn't do anything about it. To accomplish this task, we need to use a program called FORScan, which allows an owner to reprogram the software in your truck for very specific configuration items like this. You need a cheap Windows laptop and an OBD2 dongle that allows you to talk to the truck software. Personally, I prefer the OBD Link MX Plus OBD2 interface for this function. Now, what if you haven't worked with FORScan before? No problem. I gave a step-by-step explanation of how to do this in my FORScan 101 tutorial video, which I've linked below. Let's dive right into the actual FORScan programming commands to eliminate hyperflashing. If you've done any FORScan programming at all, you'll be familiar with Living It Up's Google Sheet of commands and settings. This is from the Common tab, where he lists all of the common commands. And if we zoom in, we can see this command, which is the rear turn bulb outage detection setting, which is located in the BCM or body control module. The location is 7264402, and we need to make sure that the first two digits read 00 for no outage, which means that it won't try to detect low current to the bulb and subsequently cause hyperflashing. Let's cut to my laptop where I've used my OBD Link MX Plus to access the truck software through FORScan. All right, I've brought up FORScan. I've connected to the truck through the OBD Link MX Plus, and the truck is starting to talk to the FORScan program here at this point and saying, these are the modules that I currently have. So I'm going to bring up the configuration tab and then scroll down to the body control module, select that, and run service procedure. Now it's going to talk to the body control module, and it's going to tell FORScan all of the modules and all of the addresses and the config options that it has too. So it needs to read all of that software, download it into FORScan so that I can make configuration changes. Now I'm going to look for 726-4402. And there it is right there, 726-4402. And remember, the first two digits need to be zeros to turn off the outage detection for those rear bulbs. Okay, now I'm all set. So let's go ahead and plug in that new LED bulb. Here is the Oxydo bulb from Amazon. Now, this never claims to be compatible with an F-150. This is a 3157. And where I'm pointing to on the bulb is where you have to shave off these little shoulders on there to get it to fit into the forward socket. I've installed a new Oxydo bulb and it's in the lower right-hand corner. So on the passenger side, lower bulb, you can see this is the brake and then this is the running light. Now I'm going to zoom in for a second so you can see the difference. So compare the top and bottom here. First of all, brake and now running light. Upper versus lower. Now you probably couldn't see it that well in the daylight when I filmed this, but that lower bulb was nowhere near as bright and persistent as the upper bulb. So what were these magical upper bulbs in this comparison? Well, they were the bulbs from the other half of our LED test. These were the more expensive yet easier solution. We talked about the two different solutions, right? Either less expensive and a little bit more difficult. These were the more expensive yet easier solution. Coincidentally, they also turned out to be the better lighting solution for this comparison of LED signal lighting. So let's cover part 2 of our LED lighting comparison, non-hyperflash LEDs from undergroundlighting.com. Now here are the rear underground lights. These bulbs do not require FORScan programming. These are plug and play. Replacing these bulbs is a very simple job, just an 8mm socket with 2 screws that you need to remove, and then pulling out the main unit, making sure that you don't break any of the bosses that fit into the holes. There's 2 connectors to unplug from here so that you have the tail light module all by itself. And then it's just a matter of removing and replacing the actual lights. And then installation is the reverse of removal. And what I always do is, as I get this connected in, I give it a test fire before I screw down the 8mm screws again. Okay, here is the bottom line with all 4 underground lighting units replaced for not only hazards, but also turn signals here and brake lights. And we haven't even talked about the front turn signals, but these are incredibly bright, especially at night, as well as the rears at night. Get seen and get noticed. Okay, so what's my bottom line from this video? Well, you can certainly use cheaper LEDs and FORScan programming to improve your signal lighting. My favorite LED signal lighting solution is the plug and play underground lighting LEDs. These are the ones that I bought and I'm not paid to endorse them. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.